There is some good news, though. Unbelievably, for the upcoming election, Jon Stewart is coming back. Back to The Daily Show at long last. I can't believe it. You know, when he was needed most, he didn't vanish. He returned. When the world needed him most, he showed the up. He will return to host the show each week on Monday starting February 12th. Only 3 weeks from now. He's only doing it once a week, though. That's okay. He's an old man now. He's coming back at all, and we should be happy about that. A lot of you guys are probably too young to have even remembered him during like the prime time. It's kind of difficult to describe, but for a while he unironically was like voice of a generation material. If you were like left of center, he wasn't just another talk show host or political figure. He was like the I don't know. He was like the shining light. He was like a defining element of the era. And he was always better than his contemporaries too. There was just, I don't know, there was like a character to him that elevated him above other like liberal talk show hosts at the time. Not only that, he's got more bass since he left. Yeah. Colbert was funnier. I think that Colbert did a good job during his run, but I think we've kind of seen it play out, right? Jon Stewart didn't have a bit. Jon Stewart was just him, and it's carried and aged well. Stephen Colbert is funny in our memories, but if we went back and looked at his stuff now, it didn't age well because it was a satire of a very specific aesthetic and archetype of neoconservative Bush era, haha, the conservatives are dumb, I will be dumb. Like he was like yeah, exactly. Jon Stewart was America's dad. Stephen Colbert was American dad, except didn't age as well, I feel. Of course, John Oliver, too. Yeah, John Oliver's great. Yeah, for sure. Colbert's character would seem tame by today's MAGA standards. Yeah, that's the thing. Colbert couldn't do the same kind of satire of modern-day fascist Republicans because it would violate FCC guidelines. It'd probably get him arrested for hate speech. You can do an over-the-top neocon because the way you do an over-the-top neocon is by being overly jingoistic. The way you do an over-the-top like MAGA conservative is by being extremely racist, which is not, you know. I never cared for Trevor Noah that much. What does Jon Stewart look like these days? We saw him a little while ago. There we go. God damn, this photo is terrible. Why did they turn the sharpness up this high? What the Wait, oh, why'd they do that? Look, geez, look at that. He's like dying. He's like a ghoul here. I don't know. I think he's a silver fox. I think he's a good looking dude. I just think they turned the sharpness up way too high here. Does anyone else feel like in this photo, he looks an awful lot like George Carlin? Is anyone else getting that vibe a bit? Yeah, he's a handsome dude. Just old. Glad he's coming back. Kind of on a blurry screen. Yeah, look, okay? It's flattering, all right? Hush. What is he now? 61 years old. Yeah, pretty goddamn good, I'd say. Did you cover when he stopped doing Apple TV? Oh, well, didn't he quit or so? I don't know the details really. He didn't seem to enjoy the framework or the structure of the production that much. Apple didn't like him biting the hand that feeds him. Might have been that. My nightmare is that he comes back to be anti-trans. I don't think that's very likely. Has he ever spoken on trans issues? He must have. Stewart trans opinions. Watch Jon Stewart debunk anti-trans myths about gender-affirming care. Yeah, I think he might be a bit of an ally from the Human Rights Campaign. So yeah, I think he's okay. Oh, that's right. The Arkansas governor. I remember that. He talked to that Arkansas governor who had no idea what she was talking about. He just made her look like a fool. I remember that. Yeah. Is that why the radical dino? Yeah, you people. He decimated her in that video. Yeah, shame I can't really watch it on stream. DMCA like landmine, that one. What do you think of Conan O'Brien? I've never watched anything of his. I don't trust his face. Would you support Jon Stewart if he ran for president? Yes. Not because I think he'd be an incredible statesman, but, I mean, let's be clear. For one, the president does not have to be an independently super knowledgeable, intelligent person. The president has to be a charismatic face for the nation and good at, like, wheeling and dealing. I think that he'd be better at that than Joe Biden. He also has the clout and the sort of, like, prestige and the fame and the presence to present as a like real political candidate, yeah, sure. I don't think he'd be like the breath of fresh air America needs, like, or any bullshit like that. But like, you know, compared to Biden, yeah, sure. If he was in Biden's place, would he do a better job? I know he'd crack down on Greg Abbott, that's for sure. Jimmy Fallon is dog shit. Jimmy Fallon is dog shit, yes. Conan's a based Irish lib, you're missing out. He just looks like a leprechaun to me. I don't know. Who would you pick to host The Daily Show after Trevor Noah leaves? Jon Stewart. Can we talk about Asmon's stinky ass taking the Palworld shit? Yeah, we can, actually, as a matter of fact, because I saw this morning on Twitter while I was trying to roll out of bed, you know? Man, so dumb.
Me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial, and I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys? No. Right. No. And that's really what matters. If it was made with AI...
Has anyone else noticed that this is like a guaranteed formula for a banger tweet? Tweet something that doesn't make any sense out of context, like it doesn't provide the necessary info, and then quote tweet it with the video or picture. Why they always do this now. Anytime, it's like the quote tweet's always from the same time, like they do it like 1 second after the other. It's like the guaranteed method of getting the pop-off tweet.
I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence
it
is
doesn't
that
matter. Nobody really cares
the lead
about this.
developer has been very positive about AI in the past and made an AI game
We're gonna play
called
this, by the way.
AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
We're gonna be playing this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and you know, I guess general Twitter population, which is that, you know, AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter.
God,
it just doesn't matter, because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Like, it doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares.
I've seen some, like, 3D model comparison stuff, and it seems like the arguments that Palworld copied or plagiarized 3D models from Pokemon are pretty inarguable. So it's not the people who made it are pro AI, and you can tell because they shamelessly steal in every game they make. Like, they've done like a rip-off game of Hollow Knight and a rip-off game of Breath of the Wild, and now a rip-off game of like Pokemon Arc, I guess. They don't seem that interested in like creative ideas. They just kind of do the slop thing. So I guess they just took some shortcuts doing that. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's a slop game. It's going to make $50 bajillion. It already has made $50 bajillion. On the plus side, it'll have like no long-lasting cultural impact, because this is the type of game that people jump into for the like novelty, but its design is atrocious, so within a week they kind of fall off it. Vaush have been addicted to the stupid game lately. There you go. But it's already starting to feel like an endless grind. Well, there you go. Vaush, a lot of slop defenders in your Palworld video. Don't tell me again gamers don't demand slop. Actually, I think the reason why there are slop defenders is the same reason people get mad at me for thinking that all weed smokers should be executed. People are so, people want something to like numb their stupid, dumb, shitty brains. People get really defensive over that. Like pot smokers do, alcoholics do, but less so, because alcoholics are way less annoying than pot smokers, and therefore it's better to be an alcoholic than to smoke any amount of pot ever. And people who like the slop games, you know? But it doesn't really make them that happy. But they don't care, and they get defensive about it, you know? I dare you to make fun of Cracktorio. Cracktorio is an endless game, but it's not slop. That's not what I mean by slop at all. We've been over this a million times. Like, there's... I do think there are, like, fundamental problems with Forever games anyway, but it's not slop. The only thing I can say is that it's better than Ark because it's not 200 gigabytes. I mean, Ark was also a slop game. Stuff like this just gets popular sometimes. It's not... It doesn't have any influence on culture is the important thing. It's kind of like, I don't know, the movie Avatar or whatever. It doesn't... It doesn't hold in people's minds. The devs of Palworld were interviewed as saying they didn't make a good game, they just made the game that people wanted. Nice. That's like a Marvel movie formula. Except, in fairness, Marvel movies are bad and derivative in committee design, but they're not slop. Like, there is a lot of artistic intent that goes into their creation. It's just not at, like, the executive level. Like, the people who are making decisions at every level below that, you know, there are lots of people who put in an effort. There is a lot of, like, craftsmanship in the construction of those movies. It's just that they're so committee designed that they're kind of, like, limited in terms of anything meaningfully creative or deviant. Yeah, I don't know. Gamers are trash. I don't think the satire argument holds any value, Alec Gunter. Even if it was satire, that doesn't mean you can rip models. But like, the satire take just doesn't really work. Like at that point, like anything that's like shock value edgy becomes satire. I don't think that works. Slop games have always been able to be successful. Electro Bubble. Is your opinion that slop games should not exist, or that people should recognize they're playing slop games? This particular slop game shouldn't exist. But slop games broadly, I guess, there are some levels of innovation. Anyway, Asmongold with a dumb take. Not really a colossal surprise.